Welcome to Kit Katastrophe. My name is Kit, and today we will be taking a look at Transformers Generation 1 Autobot car Hot Rod. This figure originally came out in 1986 as part of the Autobot car assortment, but we will be looking at the 2018 Walmart exclusive reissue. The classic Autobot Cavalier dons the form of a space car from the far-off space-age year of 2005, featuring a nice plump shape and a very decent heft. The stickers are especially shiny and foily, as this reissue features the style used on the Target Master release rather than the original. I think it looks pretty stunning from some angles, but with my setup they're a right bitch to photograph sometimes. I would have preferred the flat texture of the original stickers, but I'm not about to count that against this figure. If anything, the luster just adds to the charm. Speaking of shiny, Hot Rod features some choice vac metal chrome accents on the side piping and the exposed engine block. I'm never a huge fan of vac metal chrome due to its propensity for chipping, but I can let this case slide due to how tastefully it's presented. Have I mentioned just how much I love the shape of this alt mode? It's no Titan's Return hypercar aesthetic, but the future wedge and the swept back yellow spoiler just really get me going. One more really nice bonus is that he features rubber tires and feels super good to roll across a desk. Hot Rod comes with two accessories, both of which are called photon lasers despite being completely different sculpts. They can peg securely into the 5mm port in the middle of the engine block, but in vehicle mode there's only ever room for one. Shame. As a Generation 1 figure, Hot Rod's transformation scheme is simple and fun. You can basically tell where everything goes from one mode to another just at a glance, but all of the movements feel really solid and well thought out. I have to admit, I kind of fumble with the chest and head assembly from time to time, but the way the legs lock in their extended position and the clicky tactile nature of the spinning backpack just feels really good in the hands. Do be careful with the groin plate, however, since it is covered with a sticker, and I wouldn't suggest muddying up the edges of it. Hot Rod's robot mode is quintessentially 80s in its aesthetic and is unabashedly sleek yet chunky. Dare I say this was the single best design to come out of the post-movie era of Generation 1, if not at least one of the best. The shininess of the stickers is a bit garish, but go along well with the metallic sheen of the chromed pipes on his arms and legs. The flame sticker on his chest right underneath the inexplicably popped collar showcase this bombastic rookie's hot-headed personality, while the shoulder-mounted spoiler chevron allude to the authority of what would be to come. Needless to say, I love this bot mode. However, there are a few problems. The stickers. Especially the ones on his groin and thighs. They're super prone to peeling off due to either being ever so slightly too big or being shunted into the lower leg cavities for transformation. The other ones are hanging on fine though. Hot Rod can wield his photon lasers more elegantly in this mode by plugging straight into his awaiting fist holes, where they feel happily at home. The dual pistols themselves seem to be cast in a dangerous-looking swirly gray plastic, but the finish isn't metallic enough to make me worry much. Just be careful with these things in a few years' time, yeah?
Alright, we've done this dance a few times before. Generation 1 toys aren't the most posable, but Hot Rod does a few things well, but it's all in his arms. His arms can butterfly out! Look at that, he has a butterfly joint due to his transformation, so he can be all hoity-toity and it's like, I told you so, even though that's completely out of character for Hot Rod. They can't go forward at all because they're just a simple hinge, as you can see in there. But he does have a bicep swivel, which is actually pretty okay. That's also for transformation, and he can be like, oh, I don't know. And if you just noticed the sneaky thing I did, I bent his elbows, which means he has an elbow hinge, and it just bends 90 degrees, but you know, that's enough for weapons and whatnot, and something else that starts with W. And most surprisingly, he has the faintest hint of a wrist joint. There's another word that starts with W. And if we put his gun in, you can see it a little more in action when I lever it like this. So Hot Rod's not bad, and if you really wanna futz with things, well, I mean, if you're pathetic, you can just say that's a toe joint. Don't know what you'd use that for. He can't stand like that. If you unhook this and untab that, well, even if you don't unhook the hood, you could say that he's looking down, but I don't think so. Besides, it makes his head all floppy like that, so best to just leave it be.
Unlike that Starscream I reviewed last year, I can definitely see why any kid of the 80s would find Hot Rod fun. He's sturdy, he's sleek, he's sporty, and actually quite poseable, all things considered. Young fan or old will definitely have a good time messing around with this figure. This has been Katastrophe. It's time to transform and roll out.